We don't need the blood of the loser's family.
The father of my daughter's fiancé looked at us as if we were trash. It was our first meeting with this man, and he had made fun of us for being a poor single mother household. I could have tolerated it if he was just making fun of me, but I couldn't stomach it when it was making fun of my daughter. I stood up and tried to talk back, but my daughter stopped me. If you say something like that, I'm going to withdraw my money from your bank. The man we were talking to was the president of a local bank, but he made fun of the daughter's words, saying,
Sure, go ahead. Do what you want.
He replied with a smirk. However, his family will regret this for the rest of their lives half a month later. My name is Scarlett Jones. When my daughter was in elementary school, my husband passed away due to illness. Since then, I raised my daughter Harper by myself while working for a delivery company. My daughter had launched her own business and appeared to be doing well. Although I live separately from my daughter, we are just around 30 minutes away by car. We often spend time together on our days off. However, I've been seeing my daughter less and less recently. Even when I invited her to hang out, I have to take care of something, and she refused my invitation. Just when I had a hunch. Mom, there is someone I want to marry. My premonition became conviction, and I gave an internal first bump. I was sad to hear that Harper was getting married, but I was happier. That's good news. You should bring him to my house. The young man Harper brought home was a wonderful man. Nice to meet you. My name is Leo Taylor. The young man, blushing and nervous, looked me straight in the eye and greeted me. My first glance, I was convinced that this man was the one who would make Harper happy. After that, we continued to have a friendly conversation with Leo, who had relaxed. Oh, by the way, if you two are getting married, I guess we should meet your parents. When are we going to do it? But Leo's expression darkened. About that. When Leo spoke to us, he was hesitant. Leo's father was the president of a local bank, and it appeared like he primarily cared about Leo's old brother, who was gifted, while Leo was disregarded by his father. Leo moved away from home shortly before starting junior high school and grew up at his uncle's house. Since then, he had grown estranged from his family. I think if you two meet them, I'm sure they'll make you feel bad. With a gloomy expression, Leo said so. But we should at least meet each other. From now on, we're going to be relatives, and there will be occasions for us to see each other. In the worst-case scenario, we'd have to meet for the first time at someone's funeral. When I was concerned about this, Leo said with a determined look on his face, Oh, you're absolutely right. I'll coordinate the meeting. I'll try not to make you two feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to impose. No, it's fine. Leo smiled. But I guess I was naive at that moment. I assumed that because they were his family, they would celebrate Leo and Harper's wedding. I was confident they'd understand if they discussed it. I was too naive to think like that. On the day of the meeting, Harper and I went to the designated place. It was one of the most prestigious restaurants in the area. I'm so nervous, because I've never been to a place like this before. Me too. We headed to the room with nervousness. Excuse me. And when I opened the door to the room,
You're late. Can't you poor people even read a clock?
we were greeted with such curses. Hey, Dad.
Shut up, Leo. We came here today because you insisted.
That's correct, and you should be grateful that even John, who is always on the go, came down here. A lavishly dressed couple yelled, insulting Leo. A young man was sitting next to the couple, but he was looking at Harper with a disgusted look. I've come to see a girlfriend. Well, but I guess you two deserve each other. What the hell did he just say? We were too shocked to respond because they had said so many horrible things.
So, you two are a single mother family, correct?
Huh? Yes, that's right, but... Leo's father asked me, and I replied without thinking. Then he snickered at me as if he was mocking me.
Did your husband cheat on you or what? If a woman is dumped by a man, it is her fault.
What?
I'm sure a single mother family is poor. I bet you want to marry Leo because I'm his father, right? I know you're all after money.
Leo's father stared at me and Harper as if he were staring at something filthy.
But that's too bad. I won't give Leo any of my money. All my assets belong to John.
Leo's brother John nodded with a satisfied smile on his face.
A single mother family is a good match for you, Leo. You're such a loser. If we're talking about John's partner, I'm not interested in a loser. I'd have been the first to say no, but I don't mind with Leo. Get married or do whatever you want.
I was so angry that I felt anger growing inside me. I could put up with it if it was just me, but I couldn't stomach it if Harper and Leo were also mocked. I almost stood up and said something back, but... Are you sure you want to say something like that? Harper's words stopped me. I am using your bank, but if you keep saying such a thing, I'm afraid I have to stop using your bank. I'm going to move my savings to another bank. Is that all right with you? Harper asked Leo's family in a threatening tone. However, they laughed hysterically with a vulgar voice.
Who cares if a little girl like you closes her bank account? Go ahead, do what you want.
She says she's going to withdraw her money. What is the balance? 10 cents?
Hey, Mom, in that case, you'd have to pay more for fees.
I couldn't understand why the three of them were laughing with tears in their eyes. But Harper looked at them coldly. Are you sure? I understand. I don't care if you regret it. Leo, Mom, let's go home. Leaving the three of them still laughing, we left the restaurant. As if we left the restaurant, Leo quickly apologized to us. I am truly sorry. I am so ashamed to have a family like that. Leo's eyes were filled with tears. Even if this means the end of our engagement, I can't complain. What are you talking about, Leo? I will never to break off our engagement." Harper yelled and made Leo look up. "Even if you say you want to break off the engagement, I won't let you. I'm definitely going to marry you." Harper. They were about to get into a romantic mood when I coughed and interfered. "That's right. Harper isn't marrying your family. She's marrying you." "Miss Jones, if you want, you can be my son-in-law. If you don't want to see your family for the rest of your life, that's fine by me. I'm sorry I forced you to arrange this meeting to meet your family. I suppose I wasn't thinking clearly." It was not Leo who should apologize. It was my fault. It's not like we can understand each other even though we were family. My shoulders slumped in disappointment at my lack of recognition. "It's our family's fault." "No, it was my fault." "Come on, you two. Forget it. Let's forget about it and go eat something nice. I'm so hungry." Harper interceded, and we looked at each other and laughed. After that, the three of us had a pleasant time over dinner. "By the way, Harper, are you really going to transfer your savings?" "Yes, I intend to." "That bank is going to be in a lot of trouble." Then, half a month after the tumultuous meeting, Harper and Lil came to my house looking a little tired. "Mom, I'm home." "I'm sorry to bother you." "What's wrong, you two? You look kind of tired." "Actually, we came here today to talk to you about that." And what they told me was a surprise. After that, Harper canceled her bank account with Leo's father's bank, as she had declared. Harper transferred the $70 million in assets in her account to another bank. It was a substantial sum of money, so she went to the bank a few days ago after ringing to inform them that she was closing the account. Because closing the account would cost an absurd amount of money, Leo's father came to the bank to persuade her not to close it. He was surprised to see me. He asked why a young woman like me had so much money, so I carefully explained it to him from the start. I told him that this money is a combination of my earnings and Dad's inheritance. My spouse was a great businessman who built a transportation company from the ground up in his lifetime. It's a secret, but we made a lot of money. The company was in a downturn and business decreased immediately after my husband died, and I became the company's second president. But thanks to the employees who have supported us since my husband's generation, the business is now in good shape. And my daughter Harper seemed to have inherited my husband's talent as a business manager in a very strong way. Harper founded the company as a high school student and launched a very successful student goods brand. When the business took off, she sold the brand to a huge corporation and is now running a general retail brand for adults. Young people who had been lovers of Harper's general products while they were students had grown up and continued to support the brand for adults. The company seemed to be running a stable business, supported by its deep-rooted fans. But didn't Leo's parents have a chance to learn that Harper was a large depositor before the meeting? I was curious about it and asked. That's my fault. I haven't had proper contact with my family for the last few years. When I asked them to come to the meeting, I tried to tell them about Harper. But my father said he wasn't interested and wouldn't listen to me. Besides, my name is rather common, isn't it? That's why he didn't recognize it. I understood the reason. So, did you successfully transfer your savings? Of course. He was crying and begging me, but I ignored him and closed the account. I feel bad for Leo, but it was nice to see his father crying and pleading for help from someone he used to call a little girl. Leo smiled bitterly. It's okay, he replied. Besides, I was originally planning to close the bank account, so the transfer of my savings went smoothly.
Oh, really?
Actually, there is this rumor among the managers that Leo's father became the president of the bank about 10 years ago. He appeared to have continued his inappropriate approach since then, neglecting the business system. As a result, their finances have been severely strained, and they have been operating at an extremely low level in recent years. There were discussions about merging with another bank, but you know how he was acting as president, right? So the talks didn't go well, and the business was getting worse and worse. I'm sure Harper's decision to close her bank account under these circumstances was a blow to them. My parents were bragging that my brother would be the next chairman, but I'm sure the bank would go under before my brother could take over. Leo's prediction was dead on. 6 months later, the bank collapsed. Even though it was a regional bank, it had a negative impact on quite a few people. In addition, Leo's father was arrested for a serious breach of trust. Leo's mother and brother had lost their means of livelihood. A filthy person showed up to our job interview the other day and turned out to be Leo's brother. When he found out I was the president of this company,
I gave you my brother, so you should hire me.
He said something unbelievable. When their employees heard this, they snapped and kicked Leo's brother out. I guess I'll never see him again because an intimidating driver threatened him not to show up again. Leo's mother had asked Leo for assistance, but if you keep messing with us any longer, I'm going to contact my lawyer. After he threatened her with that, she stopped contacting him. Later, Leo and Harper got married without incident. Leo became my son-in-law, and they are living happily. Seeing them together reminds me of my husband and makes me happy too. I really wish them a good married life, as my husband and I had.